morning. Different entities see different things differently, don't they? I'll give you an example. I switched the station between the propaganda news stations a lot. In the living room during breakfast when the local news won't come in because of the way the living room's arranged right now. So when I click from a Tom Brady live interview with, say, the Today Show over to Good Morning America, and the same live interview is happening with them people, and they're able to script it in such a way that all across the nation it looks like this guy is doing a live interview with all these different agencies. But if you click it from one station to the next and you catch the one that's behind the other station, you hear that they're asking the same questions and they're saying the same things. The news anchors are following a script. Just to give you a clue of how dangerous this is becoming, where they're projecting a reality that is not real. Okay, it's a live interview, exclusive live interview, but everybody's doing this interview to this footage, and it's been scripted. You can't know that it's live. Okay, now to give you a clue how different entities see things. We're in an era of accountability. Why can't you get away with murder? Because of non-tamperable, non-deletable spirit memory that even records your thoughts and omissions. That's why. And it connects to everything that you negatively or positively affect. They also have spirit memory, animals and people. Okay, so you can't get away with murder here. Other entities from other timelines have already, via time-traveling angels of death, called technology from an era before the flood of Noah. So they're already adept at undoing stuff and undoing entities. Just go back in time, identify the targets, go back in time, and kill the parents of the targets before they can spawn them. Then blam, whatever they did don't happen. They're still going to get time looped to suffer the consequences for whatever had to be undone before they're spiritually executed, to not get included in the replay of this timeline once it's reversed and restarted at the restore point. Sans contaminants. So all this looks like, one way to all the zombies here, right? But to entities who are charged with undoing those who have proven with their pre-existence here that they are not viable candidates for a real-world existence scenario. Like all these people who are into this Super Bowl stuff, especially after the stuff that's happened over the last couple of years. It's like, all right, well, to them, this is evidence of entities who need to be undone. Everybody who benefited from sports. We have people who can't pay their bills, in America. And it's like, and then you have Sharpton, who's a federal snitch who got everybody in the mainstream music industry who would protect the gates for family values removed with fake crimes, entrapment, stuff that didn't even happen, setting them up. That's why he can run around owing more taxes than God and be free and be on TV and nobody arrests him. It's because, that's federal snitch power right there. But he'll be undone, and so will everybody who was influenced by him and everybody who wanted him to roam around free. Kind of like R. Kelly and everybody who wanted him to be free after, Okay, now what did the news prove to you, the TV news? They proved that if they say something, the opposite is the truth. So, those who had a problem with these MAGA kids, the entities who would take down Alex Jones for telling the truth and provide a platform for people to, threaten these kids and dox them while they're they're marked for non-existence now. So are all the professors and people who were charged with teaching these kids better, the people who doxed and the people who provided the people who doxed the platform to dox. They'll be undone. Yeah, and this proved that if mainstream news says it, it's a lie. Just like all the Trump haters, they're going to be undone because any public evidence of hating Trump in an era where he's fighting against torturing and raping children for adrenochrome, and all the entities who are addicted to adrenochrome have come out against Trump, tried to make him look like the bad guy. It's like that's evidence of entities that need to be undone. People who will league with this hatred against straight white males, they've got to be undone. Everybody who would want them to feel that way. Things that were not racist that are now being pulled out and called racist. That's what called for the paradigm that anyone who is non-white who feels offended by something racist will be undone, and so will everybody famous who they're fans of, all famous raps, anybody who influenced them to feel racism. Okay, because, well, for the last 40 years, the whole world has been bending over backwards to lick black ass. Okay, that's just where we're at. And, all this stuff, we're going to sell millions of records to little white kids and then dare them to say the word nigga. Well, now they got to be undone, and everybody who benefited from their fame, all the way up to Wall Street and beyond. Anybody who will, in any government who allowed that hate speech, once it was identified as hate speech, it offends the people who wrote it. They've got to be undone. Anybody in any government that would allow that hate speech to be up on the radio and on platforms, well, Alex Jones' truth can't be up. You see, Alex Jones got used as a quantum conduit. A testing flag, so to speak. So this is what we have. We'll be experiencing more Mandela effect because anyone who regards blackface as racist, anyone black who's offended by anything that, it's racist, like the Dixie flag or anything like that, the paradigm has been set to where now you can't be non-white and be offended by racism, and you can't be racist. You can't say cracker, you can't say nigga. Angels of death are getting attracted to you, and you are being disenfranchised. Inclement weather is being attracted to you. Violence is being attracted to you. Curses are being attracted to you. And all who are allowing you to be influenced like that, which means all the white devils who are allowing all those hate speech promoters, they pretend to be black, but they keep you locked in chains on the plantation of punishment that got presented as slavery. There never was any slave ships. They were prisoner ships. And the prisoners that came up off them ships had commuted death sentences to life hard labor. White, black, all races. Okay? And they came and they got worked as slaves rather than executed. Now this has been commandeered and twisted to butthurt a whole race of people so that Satan, aka the ancient artificial intelligence, not to be confused with Lucifer, who is against Satan, that entity and its followers have tricked a whole demographic of people to be butthurt over something that's not even real. Okay? That's like saying that the murderers that are incarcerated right now are slaves. And they're all different colors. But they're murderers. If they're out on a work farm because they committed murder, then their death sentence was commuted and they're working. They're not slaves. There was a era where, you could buy a prisoner who was your slave. But, you could buy white prisoners. And you had rich black people who bought white prisoners as their slaves and black prisoners. So when they try to say that, oh, this was a racist thing that happened in the days of slavery, a lot of these people that you see famous now, they're descendants of the rich black people who owned other black people. And they want to talk shit now. They don't want to open up their own closets and look at their own skeletons and say, wow, granddad's, he owned more slaves than Thomas Jefferson. He owned more slaves than every notorious cracker. You see? I mean, for real, we need to stop letting these entities that are going to be undone add to the culling, okay? Sports is being used as a culling because the entities who are into sports can't even see themselves. That they're so into this. They've got their heads up their own asses, watching overgrown children play ball. Play with balls. They're playing with balls. They're not doing nothing heroic. They're not rescuing an animal. They're not stopping pedophilia. They're not helping Trump fight against bringing children here to sell them by putting up a wall. They're not helping Trump fight against the street-level heroin that's enslaving so many people in this nation. No, what are they doing? They're running around playing with balls. It gotta be undone. I'm sorry. Full-grown men playing with balls. I don't care if they pay you $1 trillion to play with a ball. You're playing with a ball, boy. What the hell kind of little retard is into watching you play with a ball? Full-grown man. There's bad shit happening out there. You won't even take your resources and your influence over your fans and do something good with that. Nah, you won't do nothing except for play with a ball and be rich, punk. Yeah, well, you got your reward in your pre-existence. And then you're going to get spiritually executed, but not before you're undone. Yeah, everything you did here gets undone. You will get time looped as things that suffered that you could have helped with your influence and your resources while you was busy being all that. Yeah, you gonna get time looped as slaves to repay your ill-gotten gain. They got identified as ill-gotten gain when you wouldn't do nothing with your resources and your fame and your influence. Because, well, you was all that. Oh, Lord, you's all that. Oh, look at you. You can chase a ball. But you run like a coward, a little slave, little fag bitch from everything real that needs to be done here to identify you as something that should be allowed to exist beyond a pre-existence paradigm, temporary timeline. Yeah. What'd your mama raise, nasty skanko? Go get famous and buy some stuff. Oh, baby, 'cause you so special. Let me put you on this little bus, 'cause you is special. My baby's special. Oh, my baby should be able to be a parasite who never does a good thing but gets us some money for playing with balls. Oh, my baby. He's so special. Just look at my baby chase that ball. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. I'm so ghetto fabulous. It's all I expect of my baby is get famous and rich and buy me some stuff. Buy me some stuff. Oh, baby. You so special. Let me put you on this little bus. 'Cause you so special, baby. You so special. Oh, baby. You so special. Oh, my baby, you so special, my baby. Do you see how ridiculous you look? Why, it can't be allowed to exist. Your mama can't be allowed to spawn you. She can't be allowed to be born. We gotta get your mamas Damn, look at how special